G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is Queen Tested, a video series in Fallout 76 where I attempt to kill the Scorched Beast Queen and everything during Scorched Earth using a specific legendary weapon. Today's weapon is going to be a Bloodied Gauss Minigun with plus 33% more VATS hit chance and faster movement speed whilst aiming. The secondary legendary effect is bugged. We don't see a whole lot of that during this fight because we can't cripple her, so we can't bust her wing to make her land to actually make that happen all the time. So a lot of flying around happens, a lot of ammo gets wasted with minimal damage to her, but I'd rather shoot her than just wait for her to land. Waiting for her to land is boring for the viewer and for me. Anyway, so yeah, got the tri-barrel, the prime capacitor on this making 434 damage, which is pretty solid. To give you a little bit of perspective, the Gatling Plasma with the prime receiver does 411 damage of this kind of health, and that is hitting for energy damage too, so we're getting quite a lot more out of this. The main drawback of this thing is going to be its fire rate, which is a lot slower than something like the B25 LMG, which is got the fire rate augmented anyway, but the DPS is noticeably a lot less, but it's got good damage per shot, which means we can deal with all of the little cretins that Barbara throws at us pretty quickly, which is nice for just gaining adrenaline and using that adrenaline to shoot the Queen with, because by God will we need it. Not too bad damage. I started off the Queen fight with 5,400, and it went down to, more than half of it, so we could do this again. But honestly, these things are for the Gauss shotgun now. I don't think I'll be using too many of these anytime soon, because honestly, I think the Gauss shotgun is better for these ones, and if I wanted a good heavy gun, I'd go to a B25, but whoops, spoilers. The weapon performed admirably, but I still prefer the B25. It's a subjective thing, but going over the perks, we've got the defensive perks like Blocker to make sure if we get punched by the Scorched Beast Queen, it does no damage. That's to stop us from being blown away by a sonic roar, and there's a little bit of extra damage resistance on top, and the AP regen is nice too. More AP regen on Action Girl, that's fueling dodgy, so if we've got AP enough to dodge an attack, well, we can make sure we take 30% less damage. Obviously, these synergize together super well. We've also got that, a little bit of extra damage resistance while firing, which will be holding down the trigger. Got a huge magazine capacity of 625, so we'll basically be using that constantly. This thing is more appropriate to have at all times, so because 45% less damage from a punch from Barbara is absolutely massive. We've got that. That'll keep her in the air flying around, because we can't cripple her, we can only stagger her, which will keep her flying around, which sucks, but we'll have to deal with it as we go. Bloody Mess for damage, as well as the Heavy Gunner perks, Demo Expert and Stabilizer there, so can't go max into Demo Expert because I'm going to need to carry all of these rounds around, so batteries included has to stand in for 3 ranks of Demo Expert there, but we're getting half of the maximum damage with that perk with less than half of the actual, perks you need to spend into it, so that's pretty good. Nerd Rage is there, obviously synergizes well with Adrenal Reaction and the Blooded legendary effect itself, and my power armor has got the emergency protocols on it, so I'll be taking 50% less damage. I can tank basically anything unless they get on top of me and keep hitting me, but yeah, even at 2 endurance, you're surprisingly tanky with this perk loadout and style of power armor. So go over the power armor. It's the Red Rocket power armor, we'll see that later, but it's got calibrated legs and a jetpack, as well as the extra defense bonus, because you used to be able to put the jetpacks on your arms with the Ultraslap power armor. I actually haven't taken it off yet. I don't know if that bug's been fixed. Probably not. I don't know. Anyways, we'll get started. Alright, we're about to begin, and I'm going to take out some of these guys. I'm actually sitting under Nerd Rage at this stage, but, or rather over, so might have to fix that pretty quickly. I'm guessing just the loose rads that'll come off the Scorched Beast Queen will quickly sort that out, so if anything, I'm kind of doing things slightly more efficiency here, not losing any of my health before the fight. Yeah, that's pretty good. Thanks, VATS limb damage. I'd expect this to be a pretty up top on the list thing to fix, but if we can pull damage like that on the Scorched Beast Queen, I feel like we'll be fine. This is the true test to see once and for all whether it's actually worth having this thing when you've got a bloodied fire rate LMG, and she can't figure out how to fly first. That's okay, we'll help her out. Apparently the force of the Gauss projectiles hitting her is enough to pull her up. Now, you're gonna land right away, because that would be fucking splendid. Alright, sit still, would ya? Oh wow, I'm melting the Queen. Alright, let's aim in first person. Yeah, right away we're already doing better off than we did with a 2-shot fire rate, but honestly, 2-shot garbage. I want to bury that once and for all. I've still got my TSC handmade, and I'll queen test it just to show how fucking garbage it is compared to other weapons like fire rate fixes of the Bloodied variety. So anyways, we're just going to keep on shooting her because I'm not interested in wasting time here, and if we're lucky we might be able to pull some bug damage numbers out of this. We've got we started off this fight with like 5400 ultrasight electromagnetic cartridges, and if you can't fucking hack it with those 5400, then this weapon's a bust. Get out of here, lads. And plus, we can train our aim by shooting at a flying target. She's got a tendency just to like hover around now, so you know it's kind of hard getting multiple hits on the same target, because although she is a large target and I'm hitting most things, I'm not hitting the same thing consistently. But when she gets into range, as you can tell, we're actually doing pretty good, and we're actually almost hitting the mutation, which is great. There she goes. Alright. We'll use this time to reload. I don't think... we've only used about 2 mags with this, which is fairly efficient. We'll just check the ammo counter right now. So I've used about 800 so far, so that's pretty decent, and looks like she's going to land. Unfortunately, we don't have a full mag for this, but I'm just going to send it anyway. Really? It's okay, I can actually aim. I can hit you whilst you're flying around regardless, even though we're being massively penalized for range here. There's no need to be stingy. These fucking 2mm ECs are a dime a dozen, and as soon as I'm done here, they're basically all going to be... fuck off, rat. Going to be all for my shotgun anyway, because I don't know. Look, I reckon I might get a quicker time with the shotgun, ironically, here. It doesn't help that she's constantly flying just out of reach, though. It does help, however, how she's not attacking back and not sending endless mobs of damage over time mobs to kill me. I think I'm staggering her constantly using one gun army. That might be screwing with her AI a little bit. Didn't happen with the shotgun, though. To my knowledge, there's not a lot of staggering shotgun perks out there. But, you know, I'll keep on firing anyway. Now I give up. The barrels seem to be going alright. They're not heating up like a minigun barrel would. I assume that since it's firing with electromagnetic things, it's not going to heat up quite as much. The barrel's not glowing red despite firing over 1,000 rounds by now. But yeah, I've got 4,000 left in the tank, and if she's not going to land soon, I'm going to, you know, piss these away doing fuck all damage. It'd be nice if we were able to cripple the queen, but apparently Bethesda didn't see fit to fucking fix this bug. And I can blame dupers on this. They're too busy trying to fix the fucking duping problem. So fuck you. Everyone who's... all of the greedy cunts who are actually in on that shit, please stop. Have some fucking self-restraint. That's all I ask of you. Funnily enough, she's not really keen on screaming at me right now, which is good. And you can tell that she's kind of bouncing around all the fucking time. Look, it'd be a lot boring if I was waiting for her to land, so I'm just going to keep on shooting her. Hello. Didn't expect the Kraken to show up, but here we are. So, despite all of that good damage at the start, we're just kind of pissing it away here. I might have to start actually conserving ammunition now. Now, hopefully, we won't have any of this nonsense we immediately take off here. We can actually make use out of this bug Gauss Minigun. Oh, wow, I'm melting her. Scorch Beast Queen gets melted. Give me 2,200 fucking views. Come on. Do your thing. Keep it going. Hold out. Hold out. Actually, might as well take that one out. I blame the cricket. That's alright. We did a hell of a lot of damage there. You know, this fight could have been over a lot quicker if I were to cripple her wings. Bethesda, please. I know that not a lot of people actually run Scorched Earth anymore because, well, it sucks, for one. I don't think like, there's some people that don't understand why I rate weapons terribly when they perform badly against the Queen. Hang on, no. We've already got enough bats going on right now. And then there's that once in a blue moon landing going bad. Alright, pop some fresh rounds in this. It feels like it's taking fucking forever, but we're just under 6 minutes into this, and, you know, it's pretty good. But it's not a particularly ammo efficient solution. That's a rad scorpion. Get away, you damage over time. There we go. Well, if anything, that's extra adrenaline for me. You might notice how I've got some red rocket power armor. It's kind of cool. I like the paint on it. It's kind of sparkly. They don't have a lot of those textures on it. It's got that metallic sparkliness that's the same that's on my Commodore, so, you know, unfortunately it's red. Thematically, Red Rocket doesn't make a lot of sense in the Fallout universe because you'd think that anything red would be immediately ridiculed as communist, but whatever. Ah, she's doing this thing. Yeah, this happens every once in a while, but luckily for me I've got stabilized and we'll finish her off nice and quickly. 6.5 minutes. It's not terrible, but, you know, I used how many rounds for that? Honestly, I'm quite happy though because, well, that's rounds I don't have to carry anymore. That's less of a huge penalty on my carry weight without using the necessary carry perks. And there you go. Alright, verdict time. It's alright. It performed pretty good. The thing that might hold it back because it felt like it took so long is because Bethesda have bugged the crap out of this. But as you can tell, once the thing landed and I was able to trigger that bugged-ass damage on it, well, it did alright. I'm not actually too worried about how this thing's going bad, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to back a Bloodied Fire Rate LMG over this, and I'll save my 2mm ultrasight rounds for my Gauss shotgun, which is much better to use them, despite it taking probably longer than it did with this thing. Anyways, I'm not entirely disappointed with it. It's just that I don't know, the first impression never kind of wore off, but it's kind of unfair for the Gauss Minigun, but I still think the shotgunner and the pistol classes are the huge winner here because, honestly, you don't have to grind for hours and hours to get a decent queen-killing solution. You can just look to what you've got in the vanilla game. So, going forward, they're probably not going to change much of this weapon, but, you know, it'd be nice if they were to, you know, pull off the explosive legendary effects to make it more of a precision-type weapon. This power looks pretty cool, and it glows like the Iron Man glowing eyes. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Quite like it. But enough about the power armor. The weapon performed admirably. I'll give it that. Performed admirably, if that's what you want to take away. Anyways, I'll pocket this crap and I'll get out of here before I die. Thank you very much for watching, guys.